just sends like a hostess invite that she tells them what to say and basically just gives them a rundown. And I'm just going to read it straight to you. Oh, hey guys, Camden's going potty. So I'm just going to read it straight to you. So it just says, good morning. Okay, so we have to do our invites that you can save this image and text it out individually to everyone. If you don't have phone numbers, email or personal Facebook message works as an alternative. So I like how she starts with the like, you need to text it out via their phone number. But if you don't have that, email or Facebook is an alternative. So she's telling them like texting is number one. That's what you should do first. This has worked super well for me and I have high attendance at my shows. And then she says in parentheses, versus using an email blast or Facebook invite, that's a lot less personal and gets missed easily. So again, she's telling them texting is best. I've done this enough to show that it works better if you send a text message versus an email or a Facebook invite. I'll send you example words to say that you can use and just send it out. So she says, I'll also send you an email with my top tips for inviting. So I like that she does like a shortened text that's really quick and kind of digestible. And then she sends a longer email that kind of goes into detail because getting all that information in a text is a lot. So she sends this in kind of like two different ways, but it all pretty much says the same thing. She just dives into it a little bit deeper through the email. So you're not getting so much information instantly when you're trying to send these invites out. Because the one thing I like to think about with hostesses, most of them have probably never hosted anything before, so they don't really know what it entails. And if I send them way too much information, it's totally going to overwhelm them and they're not going to be excited. So sending them tiny little bits of information at a time is really, really key. So she sends that, and then in a separate text message, so she sends that one first, and then immediately next, she says, here's an example of an invite that you can use, or you can write your own that's similar to this. So she sends two different ones, so it's kind of broken up, so they're not getting like a giant paragraph. And this is all the text invite says. Hi, Katie. I'm hosting a really fun girls' night next month to show off the new Stella & Dot holiday collection. I really love the pieces I already own, and I'm loving what I've seen from their new arrivals. It will be a fun excuse to get together, hang out, and maybe do some shopping for yourself or Christmas. Would love to see if you can make it. It's an open house format, so stop by anytime between 6 and 8. Here's the link that you can browse online ahead of time if you'd like, and feel free to bring friends. And then she says include picture and trunk show link. So do you have Mimi?
Yes.
Mimi? Okay. So there's really great images in Mimi of like, and I like to use the ones that kind of showcase what a trunk show is, like either the champagne glasses cheersing or just kind of like a background of the display with maybe some clothes, just so people get an idea of what Stella & Dot is. Because I don't know about where you live, but where we live in Eugene, a lot of our customers have never heard of Stella & Dot. So if somebody invites them to Stella & Dot and then doesn't send an image, they're like, I don't know what this is. Like, is this stationary? Is like, I've had people be like, I don't know what you're inviting me to. What is this Stella & Dot thing? And I'm like, oh, well, it's jewelry and accessories. I'm like, oh, well, like an image with some of our stuff probably would have been nice. So, so sending an image and then the link to the trunk show that they can easily click on. So then 1 or 2 days before the show, she sends this reminder text to her hostess. So like, let's say the show's Friday, I would send this probably Wednesday. So it just says, okay, here's your text message reminder image. And so I'm assuming it's like the same image that she already sent before. So just kind of reminding them what to send out. This helps so much with attendance. You can text this out individually to each guest that said yes, maybe, or hasn't responded with a personal message like, and then she sends another message that they can just copy and paste. And all it says is, hey, Kara, just a friendly reminder that my Stella & Dot trunk show is tomorrow. It's really laid back and open house, so stop by anytime. I'd love to see you. Feel free to bring a friend. That's it. That's all it says. So those are the two text messages that she sends out to her hostess. And I'm not going to lie, I was really shocked that she only sends her hostess 2 text messages. I was like, you don't send them like 8 messages? And she was like, no. She's like, I send them in that initial message when we first booked the show. And she was like, and then she's like, most likely I'm like talking to her a little bit ahead of time, but she was like, it's pretty much just that. And then 1 or 2 days before the show, I send that message. So then this is the email that she sends. So she sends this email like the same day or the day after she sends that first initial message. And I will put all of this
one more time. She does her text reminders, you said 2 days before or the day before?
1 or 2 days before. Yeah.
Before.
So like if the show's Friday, I would do this Wednesday or Thursday. Since you booked it Friday, I would probably do it Wednesday and then just send like another quick follow-up on Thursday that just says like, can't wait to see you tomorrow. So then the email, and like I said, when I email out when I post the this recording, I'll put all this stuff in the comments, so it's all there. So this is the email that she sends either the day of or the day after she sends that first initial message about the show. And it just has a couple bullet points on what is important. So she says, I'm so excited for your style session. I wanted to go over my top tips for having a great event so we can get you as much free product as possible. My average hostess earns $250 in credit and 3 half-off items. I can't wait to see what's on your wish list. So for Kim, her average trunk show is $1,500. So $250 and free and 3 half-offs really is her average hostess rewards. For me, my average trunk show is between like $700 and $1,100. So I usually say my average hostess earns around $200 because when your trunk show hits 1,000 in sales, that's when you get the $200 and the 3 half-offs. So I want to make it as realistic as possible. So for me, it kind of averages to 1,000, which if you tell them 200, they're going to try really hard to get that. So I would suggest kind of keeping that information as accurate as possible. If you're having super high trunk shows where your average hostess is getting 300, tell them that. If you're having a little bit lower trunk shows, you want to give them like a realistic hostess rewards goal, because there's nothing where, and it definitely happens. Like I tell my hostesses on average, they get 203 half-offs. Well, she doesn't get 10 friends to her trunk show. She only, let's say she only invites 10 and 3 people show up. Well, she has $30 in credit and 1 half-off. And she's like, well, I thought you said we get 200. So I try to make sure it's really realistic. And one of the things I really make sure to tell them, especially now that the hostess rewards have changed slightly, I really emphasize the getting 10 friends there. I don't necessarily focus on like the invite 40. I really focus on the getting 10 friends there, because you can invite 40 people and only 3 people show up and they're like, well, I did what you asked me to, and I'm still not getting all the hostess rewards. So when I'm telling them to get 10 friends to their house, that's realistic to get $1,000 in trunk show sales.
Since I'm just starting, what should I tell her? Like, I don't have an average.
Yeah. So I would say the trunk show average is it's between $800 and $1,000, which is around $200 in product credit. That's what I would tell, because that's about what the average trunk show is, especially now with tops. The trunk show averages are going up a little bit. So I would say, instead of saying like my average hostess, I would say like from what I've heard, or like from the Style.world, average hostesses are getting around 200 in free and 3 half-offs, especially now that it's the holidays. Let's work really hard to get 10 friends in the door to make sure we get you that 200 in product credit. Does that sound okay?
Yes. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. So she says, number 1, here she says trying to invite at least 40 people. So she says trying to invite at least 40 people. There's typically a 30% rate of attendance plus day of cancellations, and our goal is to have at least 10 ladies attend. So 40 or more is kind of our magical number to hit for invites. This might sound like a lot, but it's easier to get than you think. Inviting from different social circles helps a ton. Work, colleagues, friends, family, neighbors, church friends, etc. Since it's such a casual come and go event, you can think more broadly when inviting. Let me know if you need help brainstorming. Plus, you can encourage people to bring friends. So she does say to invite 40, because that is kind of like the magical number. Has Kara talked to you about that? Like invite 40 and 10 people right off the bat aren't going to see the invite. 10 people, the date's not going to work and they're not going to be able to come. 10 people are going to forget the day of, or something's going to come up and they're not going to be able to get there. That leaves you with 10 people that show up to the show. So, and then number 2, she says personal reach out. The more you can connect it to people after sending out the invite, when you see them in person, the better. If they see that you are excited, they will be excited and much more likely to come. If you have a chance to explain that there's no games or presentations, it's an open house style so they can come and go anytime, that really helps. It's super fun and casual. So I know, so again, just like with a lot of these in-home shows, like in my group hello, I always joke And it gets a laugh when I say like, okay, everybody get, a glass of wine and a little snack. I'm going to talk for about 45, 50 minutes. And people are like, what? And I'm like, I'm just kidding. I'm going to talk for about 2 minutes and then you guys are going to shop. Like, you guys did not come to hear me give a big long spiel. You guys came to play in jewelry and socialize. Like, that's what we're going to do. So when I say that in my group hello, it always kind of eases tension, because if you've never been to a Stella Dot party, you don't really know what to expect. Have you ever been to like a Pampered Chef party? Have either of you guys ever done a Pampered Chef party? It's really boring. You sit and
cabbie. I've been to a cabbie party.
Yeah,
it was the same thing. It was like an hour and a half presentation, and
yeah, you like sit and you listen to somebody else. Like Pampered Chef, you sit and you watch someone else cook and like talk about the stuff. There's no interaction. You feel like you're in school. So a lot of times, especially if they've never been to a Stella Dot party, I think that's kind of what people assume is like, well, she's just gonna sit here and like tell me about all this stuff. And so when I joke and I'm like, I'm totally kidding. Like, you guys did not come to listen to me talk for 45 minutes. You came to drink wine and socialize and play adult dress up and just have a fun night. I just want to talk to you about how to order, how tonight's going to go. And I'm just going to show you a couple of my personal favorites. If you've never shopped Stella Dot before, it can seem kind of overwhelming. So I'm just going to show you a couple of my favorites and like some fan favorites, and then that'll be it. So saying that kind of breaks the ice a little bit. And that's kind of what she's saying here in number 3. So, and then number 4, she says, oh wait, no, sorry, that was number 2. Number 3, she says, additional text message reminder image right before the event. I'll give you words to say the day before the style session to send out with the image. Again, this is so effective. People just need that last minute personal reminder. So that's that second message that we already talked about that she sends out either 2 days before or the day of. And so she talks about it again in here, how important it is to like remind people and just make it short and sweet. And like, I'm so excited to see you. And that's it. So then number 4, encouraging anyone who can't come or doesn't live locally to check out Stella Dot online. Your link is now open for orders. So anyone that doesn't live here or can't make it can still order anytime. If they're local, you can get them a catalog, or if not, you can just send them a link to the trunk show. Here it is. Let me know if that all sounds okay and what I can do to help. I'm so excited for you and your show. You will earn lots of free product. You're going to love seeing everything in person again, especially the new arrivals. So, I really like how super easy she makes it, because I feel like we always kind of overthink these things. We always think it's a lot more difficult than it is. I always feel like I'm saying the wrong thing or doing the wrong thing. And then having someone like Kim, who is top in everything in the company, send me exactly what she sends her hostesses. And it is like straight to the point, super easy. It doesn't blow my mind. It's not anything that I've never heard of before. It's just the same every single time, and it works, which is always kind of nice to be like, oh, it does work. Like, you just have to send it out and just have to be consistent with it. So one of the things I usually tell my hostesses, because I run into this problem quite frequently, is they create their own Facebook invite. So we book a show and they get really excited and they create their own Facebook event invite thing, which is totally fine. But in the description, they say something like, don't feel like you have to shop, just come hang out. Which is kind of the kiss of death. Has Kara talked to you about this at all?
No.
Okay. It's a little bit of the kiss of death, because it doesn't sound so terrible. Like, just come hang out. Like, you don't have to shop, which I always tell my hostesses, like, I am not a creepy salesperson. I'm never going to feel anybody feel like they have to buy something. I'm never going to make people feel uncomfortable. This really is like a glorified girls' night where we can play adult dress up and try stuff on, and I will help them find something that they love or gifts that they need. I'm never going to make anybody feel like they have to buy something. But if you, the hostess, tell your friends, just come hang out, you don't have to shop, what her friends are hearing is, I don't like this stuff, and I'm hosting as a favor, so just come hang out, and like, this stuff is crap, so you don't have to buy anything. So I usually will tell my hostesses in that kind of format, like, just make sure when you're reaching out to your friends, don't say anything, like, just come hang out and don't feel like you have to shop. And I will tell them why, like, because what they will hear is that you don't like Stella Dot and you are just doing me a favor, which isn't the case, because you love Stella Dot. And most of the time they're like, oh my gosh, yes, I totally do. I was going to say that, or like, thanks for reminding me not to say that, because to them, it doesn't really seem that bad. But like, when they're friends, because I think about me, and if I heard that, I'd be like, well, I don't want to go. Like, this stuff sounds awful. Like, if you don't want to shop it, or if you're just telling me to come and not shop it, then it probably sounds kind of gross, or like, it's crappy jewelry. So that's one of the things that I add in when I'm telling her to reach out to her friends, because once they say it, it's kind of hard to come back from that. So I like to remind them, especially if they're like a new customer that doesn't really know me, or a friend that kind of just sees this Stella and Dot side of it. I like to remind them, like, I am not going to be creepy salesy. Like, I promise we're going to play adult dress up. It's really shopping with your girlfriends. We're going to try stuff on. Today at my trunk show, I said this in the video earlier. I had 2 girls that came that were doing a no shop November, or like a no spend November, which I think is great. Like, I should probably do a no spend November if I'm being perfectly honest. But one of the girls, she built a huge wish list, and she was like, call me December 1st. And I was like, done. Like, no problem. I will totally call you December 1st. And she's a friend. Like, I know she's going to shop. I know it's not going to disappear. Everybody left, and it was me and the hostess and the other girl that was doing no shop November. And she was asking me about Style Club. And so I was telling her about Style Club, and she was talking about the stuff that she wanted. And she was like, okay, so if I just get Style Club today, do I get a free gift? And I said, no, you have to, you need to spend $50 to get the free gift for Style Club. I was like, and honestly, it's not really worth it to just sign up and not spend $50, because you're going to spend $50. You might as well do it now and get the free gift. It's totally worth it. And so we're talking through stuff, and she's kind of looking at things, and she's adding stuff in her wish list. And she's like, okay, so today, if I get this, and I could see it was kind of like weighing on her. And we went back and forth for probably a half an hour. And finally I was like, I'm not going to let you get anything today, because I feel like you're going to leave. You're going to have a pit in your stomach. You're going to feel really guilty that you spent money today and that you didn't follow through with your no spend November. So here's what we're going to do. All of this stuff is going to sit in your wish list. I have your number. I will contact you December 1st, but I'm not letting you shop today. And she literally transformed into a different person. It was like a giant weight had been lifted off her shoulders, that I allowed her to come try stuff on, build a wish list, and not spend any money. She was like, thank you. She was like, I felt really bad coming and not shopping. Like, I know you spent time to be here. And I was like, I get it though. You made a commitment to do a no spend November. You wanted to come hang out with your girlfriends. I'm not going to make you feel like you have to buy something. That's awful, because then you're going to leave. You're going to feel like you're going to want to return this stuff. And then I'm going to be the villain. And I don't want you to feel like that about me or about Stella and Dot. So I was like, let's build this wish list. I'll contact you December 1st. And she was like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. And I swear, like, this girl is probably going to spend like $300 with me come December 1st, which kind of defeats the purpose of the no spend November, but that's a whole other story. But seriously, like, not forcing her to shop today, I think is going to pay off for her as a customer in the long run. She's going to be happier. She's going to be a lot more excited to come back, because I wasn't a creepy salesperson and force her to spend money because she came to the show. Does that make sense? I know it sounds like really backwards, like horrible sales, but I feel like long-term, she's going to be a better customer and be a lot more happy to shop with me and come to my shows, because she's going to know, like, well, Amy's never going to make me feel bad if I don't buy something, or bad if I can't spend more than, $20 or something. So I feel like a lot of times it's worth it to kind of maybe not get that sale right now, because you're going to have a happier long-term customer. So that is really all she does for her hostess coaching, which, again, like I said, it kind of blows my mind that that's all she does. But
does she do a hostess packet at all?
She does. So one of the parts, I think it's at one of the last things she says is about lookbooks. So yeah, in number 4, her last point says, if they aren't local, you can get them, or if they are local, you can get them a catalog coming soon. So what she does is she does put together a hostess package that I think has like 3 or 4 lookbooks, the hostess breakdown. I think she includes a polishing cloth, which is what I usually do, and then the opportunity guide, and she drops that off to him like maybe a week before their show or 5 days before the show. I know, Carrie, you typically do a hostess packet for your in-home or your in-home shows.
Yeah.
Opportunity guide. What's an opportunity guide?
It looks like
you would have gotten one in your starter kit.
These are the new ones. They look like this. Love it where it get paid to share it. And it just talks about like what it is to be a stylist. So there's like,
hi, Cheryl.
Hi.
You're catching us at the end, but I'm glad you're able to jump on.
Can I order more of those? Because I think I only got.
So if you go to the lounge and you go to the like the orders and shop tab, and you click down and you go to business supplies. There's like new catalogs, opportunity guide, polishing cloths, all that kind of stuff. And you can tell your friends that your upline is in the book. So I always like to show people that, like, if you have any questions, you can just ask this girl right here.
And I can use my credits, right? To practice.
Yep. You can use credits for opportunity guides. So
a really nice thing, just really quickly, is all of our business supply materials are in there. You can use credits. You can pay cash for them. You can also order when you're ready and you're at a place in your business where you want to start adding like trays and neck forms. That's all in there.
Right.
And they charge us like nothing. Like they basically charge you what it costs them to make. Like there's no...
I just bought some new lookbooks because after today, I'm like almost out of my big fall lookbooks and my holiday lookbooks. The fall lookbooks, which are the big ones, and keep in mind, our spring collection is the next like big line launch, and we'll get a new big lookbook in January, but they're discounted to $11 for a pack of 20. Yeah. Which is like nothing. So I just bought some new,
all that stuff.
Oh, yeah, those are the holiday ones. So those are the current holiday ones, and then these are the big. Yep, these are the big fall ones. So in January, when we launch our new our spring line, there'll be a new big lookbook for that.
They'll combo those.
Yeah.
So like right now we had the big lookbook, but then they launched all that holiday stuff. They didn't want to make a whole new lookbook, so they just
like a MIDI
one. And then when the go ahead.
When I go on Friday, what am I supposed to bring? Like 3 of the small ones and a large big one, or like what am I taking?
So it's hard because we have 4 line launches a year: spring, summer, fall, and holiday. Spring and fall are big, like 70 plus pieces. Summer and holiday are smaller. They're like around 40 pieces. So we do a huge lookbook for spring and a huge lookbook for fall. And then for summer and holiday, we do that midi sized. So it's not like a tiny mini one, but it's kind of like in between. So for my summer shows and for my holiday shows, I take both. Because the big lookbook is going to have everything. The midi lookbook is going to have what just launched. So the holiday stuff is not in that big lookbook. So so today when customers were like, "Can I take a lookbook?" I gave them both and said, "Take both." And I explained to them, like, this is all the major line stuff from fall. This is all the holiday stuff that just launched. Yeah, like my necklace and like whatever else I was wearing that was good. Like I was wearing the soiree top, the black version of this. I was wearing that today. I was like this will be in the holiday lookbook and some of that other stuff. So
I know we only have like 10 minutes left, right, Amy, or 9 minutes left?
Yeah, it doesn't. I don't have a countdown yet.
We're at 8:31. So your show on Friday, what is this? What is it? Is it an in-home show for you, Sonali?
No, it's my friend who owns the wine bar. Okay. She's having it pop up there because she's there all the time. So you can't have it at home. She asked if I would do it at work, and I said yes.
Totally, but it's a show for her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right. Perfect. Yeah, so you want to bring both catalogs, the big ones and the like little half-size ones.
Sound good?
Yeah.
Okay. Cheryl, I know you joined late. Do you have any questions? We went over hostess coaching stuff, so I'll post the recording later so you can go back and see all the hostess coaching stuff. But do you have any questions?
Not that I can think of, no.
You need like advice? Do you have any like messages from potential hostesses?
You have, Cheryl, you have Cassandra's show and your mom's show?
Yes.
Oh, time limit.
I don't know, can you guys hear me or not?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, I have my mom's show next Saturday and then my sister's online show the following Sunday after Thanksgiving.
And your mom's is going to be in home, correct?
Correct, yes.
I'm trying to forget who lives where. How are you feeling about that?
Good. We did save the dates and we did evites that she sent out to over 20 people so far. I think she's up to almost 30.
Okay, great.
And then I was going to do the reminders, or she's going to send out the reminders a couple days before. And I've been like, kind of pretty much doing everything for her because she's not very tech savvy with the online e-bike
super
stuff.
Normal. That's super normal. Okay, awesome. Amy had some really, really great tips of stuff to do for in-home shows. So for sure, go back and watch the first 15, 20 minutes of this after we're done, because there's some just good words to say and stuff for follow-up for your mom, for her guests and stuff like that.
So I will say one of the things that I definitely run into is when I do shows with like close friends or with family or something, sometimes it's really hard to kind of get into like your stylist guard. So you kind of fall into like, well, it's my mom, so like I'm not really going to hostess coach her. It is just as important to like hostess coach your mom as it is the stranger that booked a show.
Okay.
It's almost more important because sometimes I don't want to say they like don't take us seriously, but it's like, oh, it's for my daughter. Like we're just doing this for my daughter. And if she invites her friends, she just assumes like all of her friends are going to come because it's for you. That's not the case. Like I wish that was the case, but that's not the case. So I would definitely hostess coach your mom just like you would hostess coach a stranger. The only thing that I really do differently between shows with my close friends and shows with strangers is how I do my group hello. I can kind of like put on that stylist mask and like be Amy, the Style and Dot stylist, if it's a show with a bunch of people that I don't know. If it's like a bunch of show with my best friends, I'm probably not going to do like the full spiel of like, okay, sit down with your wine, get some food, because I'm going to talk for about 45 minutes. Just kidding. That's not why you can. Like, I'm not going to say that to my girlfriends. What I'll probably end up saying is just like, hey, I just wanted to show you guys like the deals right now and like 2 of the new things. Instead of doing like the whole Style and Dot spiel of like, these are the versatile necklaces and these are engravables or whatever, I'm probably just going to tell them what's new. Cam, can you go find Daddy?
And one other thing I'll say, Cheryl, what will be really important and great for your mom's show is her age group are going to be your best customers because they have more money. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's, the kids are out of the house, like more disposable income. And so that group, those are like my best shows when I get like my mom's age, like that 50 plus group. It's just kind of like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Those are like your best customers. So to be able to book some shows from there, and then meet those people's friends and so on and so forth. So helping your mom, hostess coaching your mom to get as many people there as possible for future shows off of that age.
Yeah. Yes. Sorry. You're fine. Where my husband is. Okay.
I would have tossed him out.
I know. I'm gonna draw for the little like unicorn mermaid cup here. So I've got the names in here. I'm like trying to make it fair. Kylie. Yeah. Okay. So Kylie wins the cup, and then we're gonna do for the Kara has product credit for Onda intention stuff. Courtney.
Of course, the 2 girls that aren't on here.
I know, right? I feel like that always happens. Okay, but with this group, because this is like our everybody's going big, we're gonna do a couple more incentives. I actually have like a pile of goodies right here for you guys that I'll share as it goes on. So we'll probably do at least 1 or 2 incentives a week for the next, whatever, 6 weeks. I think we're basically, we're basically doing this all the way through like the holiday shipping cutoff, or I mean, even till the end of the year.
I was going to ask really quick, because you guys are both.
This is fine. I promise I'm not drinking from the.
Do you guys know the holiday shipping cutoff as far as booking shows for December?
Was it December 15th?
I think it's the 16th or something like that.
Let's verify that. But just for you guys, because I remember when last year, my first holiday season, I started booking up my December, and I was thinking like, oh, I'll book, like a week out of Christmas, thinking people can still get their stuff. And then I realized, oh shoot, this is after the shipping cutoff. People actually have to do like expedited shipping if they want for Christmas.
And I will say, even though they tell you, sorry, I was in like a text thread with some other girls, and I feel like they posted when the shipping cutoff was. I can't find it. Even though they tell you when the shipping cutoff is, to be honest, I plan it like 2 days before that to give myself more than enough time, because this has happened to me more times than I want to tell you because it stresses me out every year that somebody waits till the last minute to order and it says that the shipping cutoff is the 16th. If you order by the 16th, you'll get your stuff by Christmas Eve, and people did not get their stuff by Christmas Eve, and I felt horrible. It obviously, like, they were obviously fine. It wasn't the end of the world, but I would hate to tell people like, oh, if you order by today, I guarantee you'll get it by Christmas Eve, and today is the last day, and they don't get it by Christmas Eve. Like, there's no worse feeling than that. So if they tell us it's the 16th, I will probably tell my customers it's like the 13th.
Okay.
So just
to be safe.
Starting to book into December.
Yeah.
Think about making sure your shows, if they're in home, they're before that, and if they're online, that they'll be wrapped up by then, just to make sure, just something to keep in mind as you guys are booking. Because
so I make it clear, that's for normal shipping. And that's if they don't expedite it. Anything into the teens, I honestly tell customers, like, I will help cover half of your expedited shipping because I want to make sure you get it like ASAP and you have it in time for Christmas. So I think last year, I had to do it with like 4 customers, and I ended up paying, I don't even think it was all their expedited. I think I paid $10 for each person. So I felt really comfortable paying $40 out of my pocket to make sure my customers got their stuff in time. And they were like super grateful. They've all come back and shopped with me. It's like just that little bit of customer service goes a really long way to offer to cover that. Cause everybody waits till the last minute. Trust me. I will.
How much is
December 20th? And I'm like, I forgot to get a gift for this person. So just doing that little bit. I can't find that text that has the shipping cutoff, but I feel like it's the 16th or 17th.
What are you saying, Sonali?
Oh, what is the cost for expedited shipping?
$19.95.
Okay.
So if I pay 10, yeah, right. They say that's 2 to 3 day shipping, but if I order something, well, tomorrow's Veterans Day, so that's a bad example. But like if I order something tomorrow morning and it was a normal day and I did expedited shipping, most of 99% of the time I get it Tuesday. So it's like next day. And it all obviously depends on where you live and everything else, but
they have a few different types. Like the one that we do is that's $5.95. That's like 4 to 7 business days. Mm-hmm. And then there's one that's like $10.95. There's one that's like $12.95. So there's a few others, but there's a $19.95 one that's basically next day or like second day. If you like order later in the day, it might be like second day.
Yeah. I'll look for I know that there's an image somewhere. I'll look for it and post it in the team page of the shipping cutoffs. I can't remember.
How about reach outs? How are you girls feeling with your reach outs and words and follow-ups and all that kind of stuff? Because I know
I feel like I'm doing really good with the reach outs, but and the follow-ups, it's just nobody's like, I'm getting a lot of excuses, and I'm trying to like work through that, trying to explain it's holidays, it's a good time to shop. There's lots of promotions going on, and but a lot of people are just saying it's too busy.
Objections are so normal. Mm-hmm. Super normal. I mean, we could do an entire Zoom call on just overcoming objections. So do you have any off the top of your head that you've been hearing a lot?
Just that a lot of things going on. It's the holidays. Kids are in sports. One of the ladies that I thought for sure would probably do one was like, oh, well, I've got 2 litters of puppies coming soon. And it's like, well, we could do it, next week. And she's like, well, I'll get back to you. And then one of the other girls I thought for sure would do it, Chelsea, she's like, I was at 2 parties with friends, and I feel bad hosting another one, so soon. So she said she might do one next month. So I'm going to follow back up with her, which we're really good friends. So
yeah.
The lady with the puppies, I would maybe, and so like I've had this objection with like moms that are about ready to give birth, mm-hmm. or anything that's like once this happens, like I'm going to be super busy. So I kind of like to remind them of that. Like, you know what? Once these puppies come, you will have 0 life. So why don't we do this before the puppies come? Like, we can schedule this within the next 6 days before the puppies come. You can see your girlfriends, like relax a little bit before all the craziness of like bottle feeding baby puppies start. And you'll feel so good to see your girlfriends like one last time before you have to take care of all these puppies. So I do that a lot, especially with babies, because I mean, that's a great excuse. Like, I'm getting ready to have a baby. I'm a little stressed. And like, I have used that, and I swear it works every single time. Like, once you have this baby, you're not going to want to have your girlfriends over because your boob's going to be out half the time. Your nipples are probably going to be bleeding. You're going to be wearing a pad. It's not going to be fun. let's like, I promise you it'll be super easy. And you know what? I will even bring cupcakes so you don't even have to like provide food.
Mm-hmm.
What do you say? And most of the time they're like, actually, yeah, let's do it. So I would try that with the puppy lady. See if that works.
Yeah, I was going to get in touch with her again this week. So.
And then the woman that wants to book next month, book it now.
Okay.
Because it's already the 11th.
That's true. Yeah.
And even if it wasn't November and December, if she said, let's do something next month, I would say like, okay, well, my calendar's filling up. So let's get a book or let's get a date on the books. And like, especially with it being December, she's not going to book it for the 26th.
Right.
She's probably going to want to do it before holiday shipping cutoff, which is the first week of December, which is in 3 weeks.
Should do it before dollars in too.
Yeah,
sure.
It's in 3 weeks. So and I would tell her that, like, you know what? Our best promotion that we only run twice a year, it ends on December 11th. Let's get your show on the books before that ends because people are going to, like, they might not have gotten their Christmas gifts yet, and it's dollars. So they're going to want to spend more. So I would try.
This is what I would do for Chelsea because Chelsea, Amy I know her super well. That she's how I met Cheryl. Like they have this whole friend group and kind of everybody's like taking turns hosting. And one of the gals a few of you guys I feel like just hosted. Anyway, so what I would say for Chelsea is let's get the show on the books and you will sit down and help her work out a list of people that maybe aren't like tapped out of shopping style and doubt. Like we might not be inviting all of the same girls that are always invited to the other ones, but you can help her brainstorm friends and family and neighbors and coworkers that haven't just shopped all of the other shows that have just been done in the last few weeks. And maybe that, because I'm sure that actually is a real objection for her. She feels like I don't want to tap everybody out. So you help her kind of brainstorm, okay, well, who can we invite that wasn't just invited to 10 parties?
Is it online or would it be in person?
I'm hoping that it would be in person just because we live so close and it's just, I like I mean, obviously like I'm new to this, but
all of her friends, everything's online.
Yeah.
So that would be
another thing that I even forget about because unlike her, I like don't do online shows. I don't like them. I'm not good at them. I pretty much do in-person shows, but I sometimes forget that you can still invite people that don't live in town because they can shop online. So even if your show's in person, and still invite your cousin that lives in Virginia because she can't come to the show, but she can still shop online. So you wouldn't necessarily invite her to something at your house, but because it's a link. So let's think about people that don't live here that maybe, you haven't invited or aren't in that friend group that might like to shop.
Yeah. Okay. That sounds good.
Yeah.
So something popped up and said that Zoom gifted us an unlimited Zoom call. So I don't know what that means, but it's 8:46 and it hasn't kicked us off. So I don't know. Let's say we'll give ourselves 4 more minutes. So then it's not like a super long call. Is there anything else, like any other objections that you guys are hearing that you need help being talked through? Because I have one to share if you want to hear mine, because I got an objection that I'd never heard before.
Which was?
So, and I've gotten a similar objection that I know how to work through, but this was a new one. So my neighbor, she lives basically in my backyard. She came to my...
Doing this 4 years, 3 years, 3.5 years?
It'll be 5 years in April.
5 years. Yeah. So Amy's heard all the objections. She's heard all of them. 8 million.
And I'm real good at the feel, felt, found. Do you guys know the feel, felt, found?
No.
Okay, I'll go through that real quick. So the feel, felt, found is you have an objection and you're going to feel, felt, and found her. So you feel her objection. Like her objection is, I don't know enough people. Oh my gosh, I totally know what you mean. I don't know of that many people either. I feel like I always invite the same 10 people to stuff. I have a lot of hostesses that have felt that way too. What I have found is if you and I sit down, I bet you we can come up with a list of at least 10 to 50 people to invite. How does that sound? Do you want to give it a try? So I feel her. So she knows, hey, Courtney. So she knows that I feel that way too. I tell her other people have felt that way, so she really doesn't feel alone. And then I tell her what I have found works XYZ. So I'm real good at the feel, felt, found. And you can use that with every single objection. So I've gotten this objection of like, I ask her or I offer a trunk show to her and she says, yeah, that sounds good. Let me run it past my girlfriends and see what you think. So I get that one a lot. And it's real easy for me to nip it in the bud and say, you know what? I totally know what you mean. I always like to run things by my girlfriends too to make sure they're going to be there. Because if I'm gonna have a party, then I want to make sure that they're in town. And I have a ton of hostesses that always want to do this too. What I have found is if you run it by your girlfriends, you're going to get 10 different answers of 10 different dates from 10 different people, and you're going to get so overwhelmed that you're not going to want to host, and you're not going to be as excited as you are right now. So why don't you and I pick a date that works for you, and we will invite your girlfriends and go from there. And most of the time they're like, you're totally right. Okay, let's do it. So I messaged my neighbor about hosting because she came to my open house. She didn't shop, but she loved everything. We even talked about hosting. And so I reached out to her, and she had said like maybe for the holidays. So I reached out to her on Friday and offered a trunk show. And she came back to me on Saturday. I should pull it up so I can read the exact one. She came back to me on Saturday, and I was like, oh God, I don't know how to do this. So she said, oh, whoa, what is going on with my phone? I think I need a new phone. All of a sudden, all my text messages are gone. Okay, well, I don't know where it went. So basically what she said was, I got your message yesterday and I ran it by some friends. I got your message yesterday and I was really excited. And then I ran it by some of my friends and they were not as excited as I was. So I think I'm going to have to pass maybe in a couple months. So she already asked her friends. So I was like, crap. How do I tell her to not ask her friends when she already asked her friends? So, and she still hasn't responded to me. So I'm going to text her back tomorrow. But I responded with, I totally understand, but it's up to you if you want to host. Holidays are the best time. Everyone is shopping right now, and trust me, they would rather shop at your house with wine than go to the mall. I bet we can find a ton more friends than the few you reached out to that would want to come and that would be just as excited as you are. I know you loved so much at my house. I'd love to get you some for free and half off. So it honestly took me like half a day to come up with that response because I was like, I don't know how to overcome that she's already asked her jerk friends that all said no. So that was a new one that I'd never heard before. So after 5 years, I'm still getting ones that I'm like, I don't know how to overcome that. So with the, let me ask my friends and I'll get back to you, that's an easy one to overcome. But if they already asked their friends, so I just kind of told her, I bet we have more friends than the ones that you reached out to and weren't as excited. Holidays are still a really good time to shop. If you're excited, let's do it. So I'm going to message her back again tomorrow and fingers crossed. How's it going, Courtney?
Hey. Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I just got done with my second online show for tonight and went in our, what's it called? Marco Polo. And I was like, where's everybody? Oh, they're here.
I'm here. Hi. Okay. Does anybody have any other questions or anything else before we sign off?
Well, and I was going to say for you guys, Cheryl and Sonali specifically, if you guys are coming up with objections and you're like, I don't know what to say, just screenshot it and send it to me. Or
post it in the holiday group and we can all
group. Because most of the time you're sitting here and you're spending 10, 20, 30 minutes thinking of a response that it would take 5 seconds to tell you, just say this. Because you're new and you're not exactly sure what to say. And Amy and I have heard just about everything you can possibly hear about why somebody doesn't want to do a show. The other thing to keep in mind about objections is objections aren't a no. An objection is a hostess basically has a fear that her show isn't going to do well for XYZ, and she needs you to come up with a solution or just to give her permission that, you know, it's okay. So I hear all the time, like, I just don't think anybody's going to shop. She really wants to host. She's just really fearful that the show's not going to do well for me, for her. And like at the pit of most objections, that's the fear. You know, we're women. It's that fear of rejection. Like, I'm going to do this and it's going to suck. And I don't want to have a sucky show. Like, that's really what the pit of most objections are. So it's just overcoming that with giving them a solution to their problem. A no is I don't host things. No thanks.
I had a hard no the other day with a customer that has been to trunk shows. We've talked about hosting for probably a year and a half. We've gone back and forth. He always seems very excited. It's always like, gosh, we're so busy with sports right now. Timing is just not so great. And she's always kind of had these soft no's. And so I reached out to her on Tuesday and I said, hey, Sarah, I want to touch base and see if you're interested in hosting a holiday girls' night. Like, that's all I said. We've talked enough about hosting that I didn't need to say anything more than that. She said, not at this time, sorry. That's a hard no. Like, she doesn't want to host. She's given me, I feel like when they give you a no with an excuse, they're, like Kara said, she's looking for permission to you to tell her it's okay to host. When they kind of just say not at this time, or like, no thanks, sorry, if they don't give you an excuse, I feel like that's a hard no. And so I was like, no worries. Like, let me know if I can help you holiday shop. I'd love to help you scratch some gifts off your list. And she came back with an, oh my gosh, that sounds great. So even though her hosting was like a hard no, she's still probably going to shop with me. So it's okay. It's okay to get those hard no's. And honestly, now I'm like, sweet, I can take her off my list. One less person to reach out to.
So with those sales and stuff, when you're offering to help people shop and whatnot, if you don't have an actual open trunk show going, like your own trunk show going, do you just direct people to the website, your website link?
Yep, just online. Sometimes I'll have, like for this girl, I have an open trunk show with a mutual friend. So I'll probably send her like, hey, here's the link to Kayla's show. If you're wanting to shop a trunk show, like if you want to take advantage of the exclusives, like here, I know you know Kayla, here's a link. She has a show that's open. Here's a link to her show. But if they don't know anybody that has an open show, I'll just have them shop online.
Okay. Cheryl, I've done that as a guest before. So before I signed up, I know I was just shopping to shop anyway. I think I had some credits left. And while I was on Kara's site, it said, do you want to join the trunk show? And I'm like, yep. I did not even know who it was. I just joined the trunk show. And so I did get those exclusives, and I'm sure that hostess got a little bit off me, which was great.
And like some people, if they're familiar with kind of like our world, or if they've shopped with us before, like I have plenty of customers that are like, hey, what are the exclusives? And do you have any open trunk shows that I can shop through? If they don't know the hostess, they understand that like shopping under a trunk show helps someone else get hostess credits, and they can take advantage of exclusives. If they ask me, I'll send them a link to, and honestly, what I normally do is I take my lowest trunk show, the one that has like the least amount of sales, and that's what I'll send people.
Okay.
Yeah. And sometimes I'll ask. Sometimes I'll say like, hey, I have an open trunk show link. I don't know if you want to shop through it, but here it is if you'd like to. So
I actually have some people from my own trunk show who they're not going to be able to attend the live. So I am going to direct them to the one I'm hosting on Friday, especially since it's at a wine bar. They can go get a flight, shop, try some stuff on, which I think is great. So.
Yeah, perfect. Yep. You can also, Cheryl, if you want to, you can open up. Remember, I was chatting you through doing a mystery hostess link for your vendor event.
I haven't opened that show yet, because I haven't built that one in the system yet. So that's another one that I have.
Okay.
And that's going to be like December 1st, I think it is.
Talk about doing a mystery hostess link for that, or was that?
We may have, but I don't remember taking any notes on it.
Okay. Sorry. I'm like brain dead.
18 different group messages.
I have like so many group messages. I swear you and I were chatting about this, but it was like today. So if you don't remember it, that wasn't you. So sorry.
I would like that in Marco Polo.
Okay. I'll send it to you guys, but you can basically do a mystery hostess link to let people shop through, and you can raffle off hostess rewards, but you can use that to funnel your next few weeks of just family and friends that are going to be shopping, and that way they can get in on the exclusives. And then you can use that as a shop this link, because I'm going to be raffling off the hostess rewards type thing, but we'll chat through how to do that. I'll Marco you about that.
Perfect.
And for me, what I typically do for the holidays is I open up a trunk show, like a personal trunk show, like one of my double dip trunk shows. I open it up to end basically when like shipping, like when holiday shipping cutoff is. So, well, actually I did it for December 31st. So I have an open trunk show that's under my name, December 31st. So pretty much any like outside orders or anything like that, I'm putting it under that show. And I keep the product credit for myself because it's a double dip show, but I also use it to, I do like a top engagers gift. I know Kara does too. And then I always do like the last, like 2 weeks before the holidays, I usually do like a VIP, like thank you kind of thing. And I raffle off some stuff, and it's usually like sparkle studs and pretty inexpensive stuff, but I use the product credit from that show to do it. So then it's not coming out of my pocket. Courtney, I was going to tell you, you won the product credit. We drew your name for the product credit. So you win some of the whatever and a delicate, either necklace or bracelet, one of your choice.
Thank you.
Well, you did the work, girlfriend, so thank you. Okay.
We can,
I'm going to stop recording so then the recording doesn't go for too long. So if people want to come back and watch, it's not like an hour long. So I'm going to stop recording. We'll say goodbye, but you don't have to get off.